Got Your Back Pod Stream is brought to you by Mr. Dirk. From casual wear to suits and formals, Mr. Dirk helps you find the perfect fit with the right look for any occasion. Step up your wardrobe at MrDirk.com.
How are we doing tonight, folks? Welcome to Got Your Back post-game edition. Oilers with a tight battle. Playoff style kind of felt like, didn't it? Tight checking, tight defensively, low scoring. Big night from Stu Skinner and the birthday boy, Connor McDavid. Oilers pick up a tight win and pull a few more points ahead of the Los Angeles Kings. Really important game tonight, and the Oilers figured it out. Welcome to the show. So glad that you were joining us tonight. We got Jason Strudwick. We'll have Rob Brown. We've got Chris Sabunia. We got Oiler postgame. And we're ready to rock and roll. Courtesy our good friends at Play Alberta. When you gamble, use your game sense. Play Alberta makes it easy to set deposit limits, time limits, and more so you can play casino games and bet on sports safely, securely, responsibly. Everything you need to know is at playalberta.ca. I am in our mobile Adrenaline Diesel studio. Don't worry, pulled over safely right now while we do the beginning of the show. It's Edmonton's premier heavy-duty diesel truck repair shop, specializing in powertrain tuning, performance, and parts sales. Visit adrenalinediesel.ca. All right. As we say, good evening to Chris Sabunia at the controls in Kelowna and Struddy. Struddy, how did you generally perform on birthdays when it was a big Struddy birthday and it was a game night? Were you on fire?
I never got the chance. My birthday was in July, so I never got a chance to fire it up. So
Never mind.
I think I golfed a couple times my birthday, and I performed. I shot the normal 90. Wasn't like I was better or worse. I don't know. I guess.
I love it.
Do you think he gets excited? Like Connor's birthday today?
No.
Maybe you get a little extra juice.
It's nothing.
I don't know.
No, it's literally nothing. I don't think it matters one iota. It's just like, more than anything, it's probably just annoying.
Yeah. I mean, you look for reasons to create energy. Maybe the other guys around the room get a lot of energy at it. But yeah, I mean, I think there's enough juice surrounding this game that you probably didn't need to be pumped up. It was there was a lot of excitement in the city. I ran to a lot of people today. Some I knew, some I didn't. They were very excited to go and watch this game on TV. Like it was a lot of buildup. This is a rivalry. This is probably the Oilers' biggest rivals.
Hey Zuby, do you know when your friends' birthdays are? Do you, think about the friends do you know when their birthdays are?
Yeah, a few. Yeah, a few of my closest friends. Yeah, you're taking it on the stream for not knowing Struddy's birthday.
Well, okay, but like not that he asked for this, and he has never claimed that him and I are like fabulous friends. But Struds, do you have any concept of when my birthday would be?
Yeah, I think I've wished you birthday before. I think is in the fall.
No.
Like October 15th.
Just a two-way street.
Oh, Struddy, you're thinking of me. I'm your best friend. I'm October 16th.
There it is.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
So you know Zuby's birthday, but you don't know my birthday.
Oh, when is yours?
I'm in May. I'm late May. So.
Oh, May.
Yeah.
And get this one, something we just learned recently. Steve and Brownie have the same birthday.
Yeah, that's crazy.
10 years apart,
but
they have the same birthday. Pretty incredible for the 5 of us here on this show, and 2 of us have the same birthday.
Yeah, I'd say what are the chances? But I think it might be 1 in 365, isn't it? Aren't those literally the chances?
Oh, God.
I think it's to multiply the 2. I think it's 1 over 365 times 1 over 365. I think that's the odds for that.
Is that how you figure that out? We need a math expert. We need
there's got to someone in the stream took a statistics course or something, I'm sure. So get us the info on the actual
What are
odds.
the odds that just 2 people would have the same birthday? I mean, I feel like
it seems like it'd be 1 in I don't.
Dealing in the
Rough
important
start.
stuff here. Yeah, a bit of a bouncy start. Well, happy birthday, Connor McDavid. Nice goal, the only goal, and it was a big one. So, Struddy, let's get to our breakdown, my friend, brought to you by our good friends over at Alberta Ram Dealers. Struds, do you have the script?
Yes, I do. Sorry.
there
Brought to you by, yeah, Alberta Ram. I thought you had it. But the 4x4 winter event is here. Get up to $11,200 in total discounts on a 2024 Ram 1500 DT Bighorn at your Alberta Ram dealer. See your Ram dealer today. Caught up.
So what made you think I had it? The fact that I stopped talking for 5 seconds made you think?
Well,
that
no,
I
because you
had
said you pulled over. So I thought that when you pulled over, you have the script there. So my bad.
Right.
My bad.
No, it's okay. And we'll get our cadence down. Generally, what I'll do is I'll pull over for the opening, and then I'll get going, and you do the Ram Dealers one. I thought we kind of had that rhythm going before. I thought.
No, you're right. I got to be better. I was just excited about this game. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, I mean, a defensive battle, low scoring. I could imagine a game like tonight would get your juices flowing. I'll kind of throw the jump ball for you then, buddy. Like, you tell me what Jason Strudwick appreciates most about a night like tonight.
Well, I absolutely love this game. It was fantastic game because in a low-scoring game, every choice, every play, every shift makes a difference. In a shootout that many people like, a 9-7 shootout, I love it. It doesn't matter. The value of every play goes down because there's a chance to catch up and make it up. So you asked me, what did I like best about this from the Oilers? Their patience. They were so patient. First period didn't go their way. LA was on them. They carried the play, I thought, way more chances, more time in the Oilers zone. And then you could just already see towards the end of the first, then into the second, they start pushing back. Start finding their way, start, picking little ways to get through LA, start playing in their zone more. And they were patient. They didn't rush it. Then the opportunity came and they sprang and they scored. That was a mature, professional win. And it was an exciting win for this team. I loved it. I absolutely loved that game. I was riveted.
Yeah. I mean, if you're the LA Kings, so they beat the Oilers a week and a half ago or however long ago that was. And then they give them a real tough, tight game tonight. And this may be a bigger picture thought, Struds, and we'll deal more in the nitty gritty here, but just sort of bigger picture about this LA team. You have to think that a lot of them have been going to bed at night thinking about the right way to beat the Edmonton Oilers for the last few years. When the same team is ending your year after year after year, it feels like this team is kind of cultivating and tailor-making a game that is little more by design to take on the Oilers, and we've seen it a couple of times in the last week and a couple weeks here.
They sure do, and they have to get by the Oilers. We're trending in another match for these guys 4 years in a row in the first round, so they've got to figure out a way to beat them. And down in LA, they had a good recipe, right? The Byfield line was heavy, and those guys kind of did what they wanted against the Oilers. Well, tonight, it wasn't quite the same. They weren't able to get the matchups they wanted because they weren't at home. And, wasn't quite the same. But, I mean, make no mistake, I'm not suggesting that Kings didn't play a good game. They also played a good game. It's just they couldn't score. And, the chances, I'm guessing, were probably pretty close. Both goalies made some great saves. Like, this is a great goalie battle by both guys. But the Oilers were able to find one more. Right? Kempe couldn't get one. Kopitar couldn't get one. Fiala couldn't get one. The Oilers' big guys did get it done. And ultimately, that proved to be the difference in a game where both teams were very patient, waiting for their chance.
So we'll talk about Stu Skinner specifically here in a minute. But since you're talking about the big guns getting one, you have to love that whole play and that sequence from Leon Draisaitl in generating that goal.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible sequence. And I'm going to take it back even a little further. McDavid takes a run at Lafreniere. And make no mistake, that was a run. He took a run at him for no reason. No reason to run that guy there. He does run it. and that kind of gives you a little bit of juice. So now Draisaitl's going for the puck. Moore can't quite get his on the momentum. And again, Draisaitl out muscles and not runs him, but gives a little shove, out muscles him, gets the puck, and then takes it behind the net, has patience to look for a play. Two Kings kind of gravitate towards him, gets it on his backhand over to Nurse, who doesn't score. The rebound does go to Connor. So lucky bounce, but Connor's there to knock it in. But it all starts with, I believe, McDavid and that little run on Lafreniere, and then Leon's like, yeah, I can play that way too. We can be rough. And 2 plays within short time, to me, changed the game.
Yeah, for sure. Let's stay on the topic of Leon Draisaitl, Struds, and let's get to our Weiss Johnson sound box for the first time tonight, brought to you by Weiss Johnson.
Heating and air conditioning. If it's time for a new furnace, garage heater, or a hot water tank, Weiss Johnson's here for all your home comfort needs, specializing in servicing your existing systems or installing new ones today. Visit weissjohnson.com today. Hit it.
Weiss Johnson, whoa.
Post-game, Chris Knobloch teed up to sing the praises of number 29.
Leon showed up a lot tonight. You can say that almost every game throughout the year. We played, 43? Maybe 42 of them. He's been really big. Just thinking about some of the plays that he made tonight, face-offs late in the game, won a lot in the defensive zone. But the biggest one tonight was on the goal. He's been out there for about a minute and a half. Still has the speed and the strength to win a race and a battle, which led to the game-winning goal. But, that was the biggest play. Well, the 2 biggest plays in my mind were the save that Skinner made in the first period and then the play that he made, which led to the goal.
You've only coached him for 14, 15 months here, but have you seen his game take another level this year? Have you seen
It's all coaching. Turn him around.
Yeah, good line there. Good line there by Chris Knobloch. Draisaitl's game, man. I really wish I could have, I would have followed up and said, which one of his games didn't you like? Because what did he say? 42 out of 40. That would have been awesome. Which one did you think he wasn't at his best?
Yeah.
Struds, like we heard about, there was a discussion the other night on Hockey Night for the game, Hart Trophy contenders and candidates and that kind of thing. And Rob Brown has been saying for some time now that Leon Draisaitl is and should be the leading contender for the Hart Trophy. And I don't necessarily think it's been all year long. I think the two-way game really picked up when McDavid got hurt. I think from the start of the season when McDavid got hurt, his game was still a little all over the place, at times, and, some of the stuff in his own end. I think he really buckled down on that when McDavid got hurt, and I don't think it's gone back, Struds. But the body of work at both ends of the ice has really been phenomenal. And boy, was it useful in a game like tonight.
Well, the timing of that sounds right. It kind of feels like that's when he really dug in. It dug into the season. I think it's a long year they had last year. And they're looking at the same thing again. But he's just been doing so many things right all over the ice. He's playing with 2 new line mates, a lot of different line mates actually, but now he kind of has his set 2 guys. He's, winning draws at a good rate. And, it wasn't that long ago where he was going against Kopitar for the first time and got absolutely destroyed by Kopitar as a rookie. And now he's head to head with that guy and winning a lot more faceoffs than he loses on a night like tonight. So yeah, I don't know how he can't be in the Hart Trophy. He's front and running away. Well, not running away, but he's well out in front with goal scoring, playing important minutes. I mean, maybe the only, I guess the Selke debate, there's some talk about that, but can you win a Selke if you don't kill penalties? I'm not sure if that's as clear cut, but the Hart Trophy, I think he should be a shoe-in for a finalist.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. We'll see what happens here through the back half. But to this point, absolutely should be. What do you make of him passing it off late in the game? Leading goal scorer in the league. Mm-hmm. Passing off on a 2-on-1 that he should probably be shooting on. And then passing off at the end of the game with an empty net. What do you think, Struds?
Just before you answer that, I'll just say we got Brownie on the line here now too, fellas.
Oh,
Browntown.
Brownie. Nice. Okay, Struds. I'm going to press pause on you. Hey, Brownie, because I'd like to know what Rob Brown, the former offensive juggernaut, thinks of the leading goal scorer in the league passing off in that situation. Brownie, what do you think?
Well, he's the most unselfish player in the National Hockey League. I think even as great a goal scorer as he is, I still believe he feels he's a better passer than he is a shooter. So on the 2-on-1, the earlier ones in the games, I think he feels that he can make that pass, and once he makes the pass, it'll be an open net. So I think he feels that way, that, yeah, this is our best chance of scoring, me moving the puck over, and he's unselfish. The one at the end of the game, we've seen him time and time again on open nets pass it off. That's just who he is as a hockey player. He's the type of guy that you want to play with because he's trying to get you a goal. Leon Draisaitl had a wide open net and no one between him and the net. The harder play was the play making it to Nugent Hopkins, but that's him as a hockey player, and I think that's what sets him apart. He's an unselfish superstar.
I'll just jump in here quick. I think that I thought Leon actually had some giveaway issues early. I think he was trying to force plays where they weren't there early in the game, and I mean, I this is why I have a hard time with sometimes the summaries of the games. According to the stats, I don't believe he had one giveaway, and there was multiple where he tried to make a play that wasn't there. To me, those are giveaways. I guess they mark them a little differently, but he was like, okay, I have to play it a little bit differently. This is how they're playing, and he just kind of evolves as the game goes on. So, just such a smart player, and he is so unselfish. He doesn't care about the goals and assists. He wants his teammates to feel good because he's trying to build them up, for the future. And that's what leaders do. That's what leaders think about when they're trying to attain the ultimate prize.
We're going to move on from Draisaitl here, Brownie, but maybe just a bigger picture thought. Knobloch was really singing his praises tonight. And, I mean, you've been saying for some time now that you felt he was a leading contender for the Hart Trophy. Definitely should be considered as such moving forward here, but you've been saying it for a little while. But is this, like McDavid said this postgame, is this the best Leon Draisaitl's ever played outside of playoffs?
I think, okay, yes. I'm glad you threw that in there. I think this is the best regular season he's ever played. I think we're seeing playoff Leon right now. This is what he does every playoff. He takes the game to a new level. The goal that Connor scored today, that is not an easy shot. Like, it's on and off his stick from a horrible angle. But the play was the Leon Draisaitl's play. He chased down one of the fastest LA Kings that had a 30-foot head start, tossed him aside, and set up the play. That was just a fantastic play. Leon he has been the best Edmonton Oiler this year, and that's on a team with Connor McDavid, who's having a good year. That's how good Leon's been.
Yeah, 100%. Sorry, guys, I can't recall which clips did we pull from McDavid and from Draisaitl, Struds?
We talked this is actually a pretty good time. We talked a little bit about Skinner. Draisaitl talks about Skinner and how he played tonight.
McDavid on Skinner and Draisaitl on the goal and his role in the goal, and McDavid on Skinner.
Okay, so let's go with excuse me, little voice crack there. Let's go with Leon Draisaitl on the goal.
Yeah, it just was a loose puck, and I thought I had to jump on a race, and came up with it. And then Nursey took a great route there, really smart play by him, and good bounce on Davis' stick, of course.
Did you feel it? Yeah, for sure. It was an impressive play. Here's what I want to do. We're going to pause on Stuart Skinner conversation, and we're going to dive into that in takeaways because there's a lot to dig into with Stuart Skinner, the quality of his play, his bounce back ability. So we're going to save that for the next segments. Let's dig just quickly into the 11-7 formation that we saw tonight, gentlemen. We asked Chris Knobloch about it post-game. He never really gave a reason why. I asked him, is this something you'd like, you might consider doing more often moving forward? And he kind of danced around that a little bit too. Guys, I don't know why he did this. Did anybody have any ideas? Anybody want to venture a guess as to why he did it? Was it about getting the centers more ice time? Like those guys need more ice time, or like why?
Brownie?
Actually, I was surprised too, Schauger, simply because they're playing 3 games in 4 nights and 6 games in 9 nights or 8 nights or whatever it is. I thought that this is a point where you want to have 4 lines to be able to roll them. I was surprised. And when is the last time either one of you ever saw where both teams went 11-7? LA did it too. I don't know if I've ever seen a game where both teams went 11-7. To me, it also goes a long ways in showing what they think of Jeff Skinner. Strud, you and I were talking today at the rink. Nobody took the spot of Jeff Skinner today. The biggest game the Oilers have played in a long time against a team that they're battling with for a playoff spot, a team that are in the standings, a team they right now are scheduled to play in the first round of the playoffs. This was a huge game, and Skinner wasn't in the lineup. I think that says a lot.
We'd rather dress nobody than dress you, Skinner. That's how I would feel if I was there. I think part of it, guys, I think that they saw how heavy that the LA played it down in LA. So I think he wanted a little bit of muscle in Josh Brown, because Josh Brown got a couple shifts. He didn't play much. He played a couple shifts against Jeannot and company out there, which especially there was 4 minutes left and he was out there. I was like, wow, considering he only played 5 minutes the whole game. A big takeaway for me, though, and this is, it's clear how they feel about their group. There's 5D and then there's Stetcher and Brown, because those 2 guys combined for about 10 minutes total. Everyone else was out there doing what they do. So I think it's clear that in a tight playoffs-like game, they believe they have 5D men. And so a 6-1 will be coming at some point.
It was a weird night. There was 14 defensemen dressed and 9 of them played. There was 5 got the Kings really cut their lineup back to a pretty significant amount. So that was kind of interesting. Okay, listen, I'm just getting home here, buddy. So why don't you guys get through Relentless Player and get through the YouTube poll, and I'll hop back in for takeaways from the office.
All right, boys, let's do it. Relentless Player brought to you by UCAN Youth Services, an Edmonton charity that's relentless in providing possibility for the youth in our community. Mental health is a foundation for growth and success and the key to thriving, not just surviving. With 2 in-house counselors providing free therapy sessions, our youth have support while they navigate their struggles and rediscover their strength. Visit ucan.ca to donate today. I'm going with Leon Draisaitl. If he did nothing else the rest of the game, that play on the goal, Brownie, to me, that's the very definition of relentless. You just keep skating, keep grinding, push a guy off the puck, take it behind, find Nurse. And that's what big players do in big games. Relentless. The very definition of it right there.
Well, no, it's funny about that play too, Struds. It was Trevor Brown he was chasing down. Trevor Brown, one of his calling cards is his speed. There'd be once of Leon says, I thought I had a jump on him. It's not like he was looking at, the 7th defenseman. Oh, I got this guy. That guy can't skate. He saw Trevor Moore, and he's like, what, I got a chance. And I'm in the press box, and you can see it playing out, and I'm like, he's going to catch him. And then not only does he catch him, he tosses him aside, makes a nice play. And you probably don't see it on TV. I bet you he went up to Moore 2 or 3 times after the game and said, or during the game, and said something. I'd love to hear how good a trash talker he was, because he went right at him and said something like, yeah, all right, kid, tossed you aside there. But yeah, 100%. That was the play of the game. That set up the goal by McDavid. That was just a relentless race where Leon's like, you know what? I'm getting that puck. No matter what, I'm getting that puck. Not just the Leon we've seen a lot of this year.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. I love that. I didn't notice that he was chirping him, and I love that, because these guys are playing each other in the playoffs. It just feels like it, and you're trying to get any edge mentally you can on him. It's interesting, and probably not fair to bring this up with Schauger not here, but I mentioned earlier, Leon and Connor were very physical in 2 key moments, and it's something that we've been talking about, right? And they actually won the hit battle today too. Schauger won't say it; I'll say it.
Well, no, it's funny about the physicality of the Oilers is, they weren't overly physical, just 15 hits, but everything was talked about with the LA Kings. It's a big, heavy team. They only had 8 hits in a hockey game. It just, they play heavy, but they're not like running around heavy. They're just a big team that gets in your way. Every play was contested, but yeah, I was laughing too up there when I saw the hits afterwards. I'm like, oh yeah, Schauger's going to throw that one out tonight. See, guys, they come to play and they're physical, and all of a sudden it's a big win. But you're right, the two biggest plays, like that play. If I'm coaching a team, Strud, and I know that you coach, before the game, I am telling my team against the Oilers, do not get in a scrum, because you might get they might get a power play, but even worse, it might go 4-on-4. And Oilers, the 4-on-4 is an Oilers power play. It is. Like it is a huge advantage for Edmonton when they go 4-on-4, and tonight it goes 4-on-4, and sure enough, that's how they score their goal.
Yeah, no doubt. Before we go to break, let's get to our YouTube poll, brought to you by DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center, helping you play better golf since 1999 with their TrackMan fitting bays, instruction and after-sales support, golf merchandise, and clothing. Go down and check out their Pro Shop style atmosphere located at 5311 99th Street. Zuby, get in here and bring this in for us, bud.
All right, I'm here. And Schauger, you're here too, by the by.
Oh, hey.
But you're
Mucking with my microphone here. And my lighting, apparently.
And
Goodness.
your camera. I can
Continue
cover you
on
back
without me.
I can cover you back up with the photo for a minute if you want.
That's fine. I got
Okay,
this.
now here's the DeBoer's Golf Shop and Fitting Center poll question for tonight regarding these LA Kings and the playoff-style battle that we saw tonight. Do you, the fan, want to see Oilers Kings in round one this year? The options are yes, it's a great rivalry. Yes, because the matchup favors the Oilers. No, I'm tired of seeing these guys. Or no, I'm worried about the outcome. Those are your four choices looking ahead to a possible, what will it be, fourth consecutive first round playoff matchup? That looks still kind of likely, but lots of hockey to play. Where's your guys? Where in the fan in you? How do you feel about looking ahead to round four, Struddy?
Sign me up, man. Let's do it. I want to see it. I think rivalries are good for the sport. Really good for the sport. Now, can they beat them 4 times in a row? I don't know, but it sure feels like it's trending that way, the way Vegas is playing.
Yeah, I agree too. I'd like to see them. I think they're two very good hockey clubs. I really do, and I'd love to see. I like to be entertained, and I think an LA Oilers series would be entertaining. I think it would be a 6 or 7 game series. I think both teams are excellent. So yeah, I'm with Strud. I want to see that.
Yeah, direct flight. So as media, we cheer for easy travel. So direct flight between Edmonton and LA, I'm good with it. That's basically what we look at when it comes to matchups as a member of the media. All right, that was our breakdown brought to you by Alberta Ram Dealers. When we come back, we'll dive into takeaways. Got to talk about Stu Skinner. Zach Hyman's an owner of an OHL club. Don't know if you knew that or not. We'll dig into that. We've got Brownie points in Struddy's world. We got Ask Us Anything. Tons still ahead on the show, so stay with us. This has Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
So at Timberhouse, our guiding philosophy is naturally inspired living. We believe that through design, we can solve problems and enhance people's lives. We follow biophilic design principles in all of our builds to incorporate natural materials, natural light, to enhance all the spaces in a home. When you have your space perfectly reflect who you are and what you value, and it's made well, we think that that just leads to better living.
Specializing in heavy-duty commercial truck powertrain repair, performance, tuning, and part sales, Adrenaline Diesel's professional team is ready to assist you with all of your needs, from the simplest oil changes to engine conversions, overhauls, and engine modifications. Featuring an all-new online parts store and machine shop to manufacture, replicate, or repair parts, visit adrenalinediesel.ca.
All right, time now for our takeaways, brought to you by Martin Motorsports. If you're looking to create new memories on the water, you can't get lower than factory pricing on all in-stock pontoon boats at Martin Motorsports, starting at only $370 bi-weekly. Browse their inventory online or visit Martin Motorsports in Calgary, Edmonton, Kelowna, and Saskatoon to find your next
boat today. Yeah, start planning now to make sure that it's a fantastic spring and summer on the water. Hey, Brownie, do you know
Yep.
You know when Struddy's birthday is? Do you know what month of the year it is?
No, actually, I don't know when Struddy's birthday is.
All right, just check.
December 25th.
Struds, do you know when Brownie's birthday is? Struds, do you know when Brownie's?
Yeah, I believe it's April 4th. My favorite day of the year.
Oh, close.
Very close.
It's April 10. April 10, you were close, though. You can
It
buy me a
is.
present on the 4th as well, though.
So that's for April 4th is my brother's birthday. What are the chances you would pick that date, Struds, out of the blue? I'm going to say 1 in 365.
No, I knew he was in April. I know he's a Sagittarius. I've always known that about him. So, yeah.
Very good. Okay, gents, let's talk a little Stu Skinner. So the bounce backs are impressive. There's some mental fortitude involved with taking a loss and bouncing back and being really, really good. And I think we'll just start this segment with the Weiss Johnson soundbox, and we'll go to Stu Skinner. I asked him about this, I think he's 9-0 now following losses, and kind of where that comes from. Here is Skinner post-game.
Come from a lot of things. I mean, it comes from, first of all, how the team plays after games like that as well. But I think for myself personally, I've gone through a lot of experiences that have helped me, I guess, become more resilient as the years go on. And after games like that, you always need to, you always want to come back and just, really bring it, show the guys that you can bounce back. And I think that's an extremely important thing for a goalie to be able to do.
Yeah, and once again, really good. Struds, just that save he made in the first period. I mean, has Stu Skinner made a better save? I'm trying to think.
Not that I remember. Maybe a bigger one, like as far as timing in the playoffs, but not a more spectacular one.
Right.
That was huge, and quite honestly, that was huge for the Oilers. They didn't have their legs. They admitted they didn't quite have their legs in the first period, and he gave him a chance to stay in it. And that's not a crappy player shooting that puck. That's a legit guy shooting that puck. So huge save in a huge moment. And as far as the bounce backs, I'm not surprised because we've seen this from Stu before. As a player, you hate letting down your teammates. You feel sick about it. So you get pissed off. You want to come back and do it. And we've seen him do it in the regular season. More importantly, guys, we saw him do it against Vancouver when they put Pickard in. They put this guy back in later. I'm like, what are they doing? Right choice then. And obviously he knew he could do it today.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, he was excellent tonight. And I thought Chris Knobloch talked about it after the game that at the end of the first period, if it wasn't for Skinner, it was 1-0 for sure, possibly 2-0. The LA Kings were the better team early. And Skinner had to come up with some big saves. I thought both goaltenders were excellent in this game, but Stuart Skinner was one save better, and that one save is, as Struddy said, Kempe he's a goal scorer. He got all of it. All of that shot. That was a fantastic pass play. Kopitar. He got all of it. To get a piece of it, good on Stuart Skinner not quitting on that play. And is the game different if that goes in? LA's up 1-0 carrying the play. Does it change the way the game ends up? Who knows? But Stuart Skinner, another fantastic game. And we keep getting phone calls on our show. And I know that there's people still listening that question whether Stuart Skinner is good enough to win a Stanley Cup. I say he is, and games like this prove it.
Yeah. Back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox. Here is Connor McDavid on Skinner.
Yeah, he's playing great. Really good early on. That save on the 2-on-1 really gets us going. Helps a lot. Just a team that you want to play. Out front of. When they get you. When they have a lead on you, they can make it pretty tough. So, huge save, solid all night.
So there's a comment here from Avi Hoffman. Welcome to the stream. I'm not sure, Zuby, if we've had that name in here before or not, but welcome, Avi. Stu is elite. He is that guy. He will lead us back to the Cup Finals, says Avi. So he uses the word elite. Now, there's an article, a long article in The Athletic today, where they basically ranked all the goaltenders, starters in the league into 3 separate tiers. And those 3 tiers were their Vezina caliber, right? Top 5 goalie type thing. Second tier would be the high-end starter, top 10 to 12 goalie, cornerstone goalie, capable of contending for the Vezina Trophy when at their best. And then tier 3 is mid-level starter, top 20 goalie. Reliable starters with proven ability to play at a high level for stretches. It's a really interesting article, and they do a nice job on here. Stuart Skinner is at the top of tier 3. So, I'm not sure that's entirely unfair, but I can't help but wonder if going to Game 7 of a Stanley Cup final and the type of performance that he's putting forward this year, guys, if he isn't close to kind of graduating up into that next tier. Like, he's doing a lot here. And just so you know, that second tier is like Demko, Ottinger, Swayman, Sorokin, Markstrom, Ullmark, Binnington are the players they have in that second tier. What do you make of that, Struds?
So to be clear, he's the top of the second tier is what you're saying.
Nope, he's the bottom of he's the top of the third tier.
Yeah.
Mid-level starter. He's like the first one named.
Yeah. And so I hear what you're saying. Yeah. And I'd actually think that's fair. I really do. He's definitely on that top elite tier. I mean, that elite tier, there's a few of those, right? It's like saying number 1 defenseman elite. There's only so many. Then the next tier,
Hellebuck, Vasilevsky, Soros, and Bobrovsky are in that tier.
Yeah. I mean, there's a better 5 goalies in the league.
Yep.
And then the next group, but I think he can work his way into that second group. Work into the first group, I think to be one of the top 5 goalies in the world is a pretty tough one. But I think he's a top 20 goalie, and I think that's enough to win a Stanley Cup. Brownie?
I would flip-flop him and Binnington, in all honesty. I think Binnington he won a Stanley Cup a number of years ago. I don't think Binnington's the same goalie. Binnington is struggling right now, and I don't even know if he's getting all the starts in St. Louis. I would flip-flop. I think Skinner would be at the bottom of the second tier as opposed to the top of the third.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, for sure. Freddie Anderson, Aiden Hill, Philip Gustafsson, Ukko-Pekka Lokinen, Decord, Lindgren, Gibson, Jari, Ingram. These are all goaltenders that are kind of in and around that range. But it's impressive. Like Stu Skinner's ability to bounce back, that is something that I think, not all goaltenders are like that. I think it's a really good quality that he has. He's building on it even more. And boy, Struds, that's some armor that will pay off in the playoffs. You know what I mean? Like, to be able to be that mentally tough and to bounce back from losses in the playoffs is where that really will serve you well if you can do it then.
So the one thing I think that he has that separates him from some of those other goalies that are above him is all the experiences he can draw on. And I've said this before, and I'll got to double down. Until you've gone through something, you don't know how you're going to react, and you don't know how to deal with it. Well, he's been through. What has he not been through as a young goalie? Like, the only thing he probably hasn't done is win a Stanley Cup. You think about it. He's been pulled in important games. He's come back and had good moments. He's had some huge moments in big games. He's stared down some of the best goalies in the Western Conference and beat them in 7-game series. Like, he's done it all. He was supposed to be a backup. He became a starter because the guy they signed was unable to fulfill the duties. Like, he's gone through it all. I guess, knock on wood, the only thing he hasn't dealt with is injuries, a significant one. But everything else he's dealt with. And I think that makes a big, big difference, what he can draw on experience-wise compared to players in and around him on that list.
Well, when you say that too, Struts, a good example is Bobrovsky in Florida. Bobrovsky, was it 2 years ago? He didn't even finish, like, the first round of the playoffs, he didn't play. But he responded when he got in there. And then in the finals against Vegas, he wasn't as good. Next year, comes back as a good year. In the 7-game series against the Oilers, there were a couple of games that he wasn't good. Yet in Game 7, he was excellent. So he was able to draw upon experiences and come up with big moments after maybe not so big moments. And we saw Skinner do that last year. So I think for a goalie, a successful goalie, is someone that can rebound. We saw Bobrovsky do that in the Stanley Cup Finals last year. He was excellent in Game 7. And we've seen with Stuart Skinner, every time he has an off night, whether it's the playoffs or this year, his next game is excellent. So I think the best goalies in the world, the championship goalies, are guys that are able to do that. And Skinner looks like he's got that kind of mental makeup too.
For sure. International play too, Struds. That's one of the things that, I mean, he played it in under 18. That's one of the things that, and he was really hoping to add that to his resume this year. I can't help but wonder if Skinner continues his solid play, if by the time that tournament starts, there isn't an argument to be made that, I mean, he potentially could be at least the backup, if not the starter for Team Canada. We'll see. We'll see where his game goes in the next couple of weeks here, but he's already in that conversation right now. And so, interesting. Tough start for him, but he has bounced back nicely and has been very, very resilient and an excellent area of strength for the Oilers. Calvin Pickard, too, by the way. The quality of goaltending the Oilers have for the money they pay, not counting the Campbell buyout. Pretty unreal, the value that they're getting from those two guys. And again, in a situation like this, I think, I think you got to mention the goaltending coach. Deserves credit when these guys are at the high end that they're at right now. Gets piled on to a lot when things aren't going well. Things are going well in net right now, and I think you got to mention Schwartz when things are going well as well. All right, that was Takeaways, brought to you by our good friends at Martin Motorsports. When we come back, we're going to dig into Struddy's world and Brownie points. Lots more ahead on the show, so stay with us.
Ready to go all in this season? Mr. Dirk's got you covered with express on-site tailoring, a wide selection of craftsman-made suits, sport coats, and casual staples for every occasion. Score big with Mr. Dirk. We've always got your back. Visit us off White Ave, south of 102nd Street, or browse online at mrdirk.com.
At Gallery Dental, we believe in blending exceptional care with artistry to create the perfect smile for you. From routine cleanings to advanced cosmetic procedures, our team is dedicated to providing top-notch care in a relaxed and comfortable environment. With state-of-the-art technology and a passion for perfection, we ensure that every visit is a positive experience. Join the Gallery Dental family and let us help you achieve a smile that you'll love to show off. Contact us today at secolandentistry.com.
All right, Brownie is heading inside. So while we wait for him, we are going to see who might be taking a trip looking ahead to this year's NHL trade deadline. It's brought to you by Alberta Blue Cross. If you're planning a trip, whether it's a dream vacation, a quick winter escape, or a trip to watch your team play, don't forget travel insurance. Alberta Blue Cross has got your back with emergency medical care, cancellations, lost baggage, and more. Flexibility, reliability, even lounge access or a hotel if the delay is too much. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel to learn more. Struds taking an opportunity to look at some of the trade bait boards that are out there and some guys that we think potentially are on the move, and doing some deeper dives on some of these potential guys that might be taking a trip. So we've got a nice rugged forward to talk about tonight.
Yeah, we do. And you know what's interesting? Seattle is, I heard Elliot Friedman, I don't know if I read it or he spoke about it, but he thinks that they're open for business because he mentioned Burakovsky and somebody else I'm drawing a blank on, but another guy who these guys might be available. So Brandon Tanev is...
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Alexiak. It was another forward. So, the point is that they're looking to maybe change what's going on there, which is a surprise. They just signed a lot of these guys. But anyways, Brandon Tanev, I've really liked him for a long time. Smaller guy, 32 years old, on the end of a long deal with Seattle, and he plays hard. He brings tempo. Like, he does a lot of things that you want to see from your. I really like this player. $3.5 million. If they retain, it's down to 17.5, whatever that is. The problem is this year he and his line mates have really been taking it off the chin with as far as goals against. Like, they are really getting crushed.
Sure.
Nearly 2-1 goals against towards goals scored. Not quite, but nearly. So that's not a good sign. But their team isn't exactly killing it either. But Brandon Tanev, a guy that I actually would look at if I'm the Edmonton Oilers, because he does bring energy. He can score a bit. I think he's got 8 goals this year, even though, you know, he's taking it off the chin with his line mates as far as defensively. But there's a guy that I you know, depending how that all shaped out, I would take a look at him. Brandon Tanev, not the D man, the forward, everybody.
Yeah, the forward. Yeah, I like the player. I've liked him for a long time as well. There's a nice physical element to his game. He plays with some sandpaper and some grit. Would like to have him on your team in a playoff series. 8.9 hits per 60, which would put him probably third place among all the skaters on the Oilers, which you guys know I like. And is also second on their team in shorthanded minutes per game. Or he's the top forward, on their team in terms of shorthanded minutes per game. So the guy can kill some penalties as well. Brownie, you have a thought on Brandon Tanev?
If they trade him, any team that gets him is going to be better. He's an irritant. He's a guy, whenever the Oilers play against the Kraken, you notice him. Like, you know, I notice him more than Bernier or any of these other players, or Beignet. You notice him out there. So, yeah, I think he'd be a great addition into your bottom 6. And the fact that he can penalty kill is huge. So, and the 8 goals is minor. You're not bringing him in to score. You're bringing him in to irritate someone on the opposition. So, I think he'd be an excellent addition.
3.5 mil. He's in year 6 of 6, unrestricted at the end of the season. Yeah, good player. I'm just thinking, like, you know, to have the space to add that. I mean, they'd have to retain a little bit. If you want to add the D-man too and this player, Struds, like the Oilers, it would have to be Skinner on the way out. It would have to, like, they'd have to figure out some cap stuff to be able to add a player at this salary level and the defenseman as well for the Oil.
Yeah, they would. And he doesn't solve or doesn't help with the face-off situation, right? So I think that's why this is maybe a stretch. This might be a player they look at the offseason, right? An older player looking to win a Stanley Cup. This could be it. Now, before we go any further, Brownie, I can't wait to hear the poetry you read to us tonight. You know, the way you're dressed with the
very fashionable chapeau you have on tonight, my friend.
And the mock turtleneck, like
it's a Christmas present.
To be or not to be, that is the question. You know, like, oh, jeez.
He can pull the toque off, though. You showed up in a toque the other night, Struds, and it was questionable. Brownie's actually pulling that off. I'm not
saying he's not. He looks like he's from the Dead Poet Society, right? He's ready to
I'm going to stand up on the desk and I'll do my brownie points standing on the desk. That's what I'll do.
Haiku.
By the way, can we discuss really quickly the picture that we had in for Brownie? Zuby, can you put the picture back up, and can we just have a quick little group discussion about this? Zuby, you need to come clean about this picture as well. Because, I mean, we don't deliver a lot of fake news here on this podcast, and there's some fake news happening with this picture of Brownie.
Give me a second, though, because I don't have it in this shot. I got it in the – you set it up. I can grab it from
So Zuby sends into the chat, like, hey, because people make fun of the picture we have of Brownie all the time, right? Hats on backwards. He's, like, on the boat, so he gets chirped a little bit about it. So Zuby decided to try and figure something else out. But Zuby has been on this AI kick this whole year, you guys. Anything he has the chance to do with AI, he loves to experiment and mess around and try different things. And so he sends these pictures into the chat group. He's like, hey, guys, what do you think? And he's been doing this all year, sending us AI renderings of each other. I don't know, man. It's like the nose or something is different there, Struds. What are you seeing? Like something is amiss.
It looks like a matchup between he and Reed Wilkins. I think if he and Reed were mashed together.
Put in a particle accelerator and just,
yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
Now there's also this one. There was also this one.
Yeah, but I look way hotter in AI. I think I do better on the dating scene in AI than I ever did in life.
That's true.
But like you sent that picture, I didn't even recognize. I'm like, when did I send you that picture? I don't recognize it.
You knew that it was you. You just weren't sure when you had it taken.
Well, yeah. The other one you sent me, I had no idea it was me. It was another weird one that you sent me. So I am way better looking in AI. I think you should just stay with the AI.
Zuby, can you put a toque on him in AI? Can you do that?
Oh yeah, I
During the
actually
next
have
commercial break?
his character, as it's known within the AI thing I'm working in, specifies that he always has a hat on. He always wears a hat, but I'll make it a toque, or probably I'll have to call it a knit cap or a beanie.
All right. Well, since we're on such a roll here with Brownie, why don't we rock and roll with some Brownie points? We'll put them thoroughly on display here. We'll change up the order a little bit here at the segments. And look at that. You had the music all ready to go. And I don't have the ad read ready to go. Brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. If you need a unique idea for your team or your school's next fundraiser, they can help your organization raise money, customizing a wide variety of options. 13 flavors in an all-new jerky and pepperoni bundle. For the month of January, free shipping Alberta-wide on orders over $55. So visit albertajerky.com. Brownie, what do you got tonight, buddy?
Well, the first one, I didn't know what amount of brownie points I was going to give this, so I'm going to throw out 44 because it's my special one. I don't know if we talk enough about how disciplined the Edmonton Oilers are nowadays. They just don't take penalties. This was a team that would get frustrated in the past. Leon Draisaitl usually would lead the parade, not like someone take a penalty, and the Oilers would be killing off, 4 or 5 penalties a night. So I'm giving 44 brownie points to the Oilers' discipline nowadays. Just one power play again tonight. That is a big reason that the Edmonton Oilers are winning hockey games. Their penalty killing is good because they never get overtired, because they're only having to kill 1 or 2 a night, and you're not sitting your best players on the bench. So good for the discipline of the Oilers. I got 30 for Stuart Skinner. He made 30 saves tonight, but one we're all going to be talking about tomorrow. Skinner's been excellent, and you guys just talked about it. His bounce back from the Pittsburgh game to tonight. Biggest game of the year thus far against a team that they're battling with in the playoff seedings. He was excellent in this hockey game. I got 2 brownie points for Leon Draisaitl. He right now is playoff Leon, and if he continues this for the next 40 games, he might see his second MVP trophy at the end of the season. He has been that good this year. I got 5 brownie points to the Canadian Nick Taylor. Won the Sony Open for his 5th PGA Tour victory. He eagled number 18 to finish the round, then birdied number 18 in the first playoff round, birdied number 18 in the second playoff round. So Nick Taylor, congratulations. You're getting brownie points. And the final one, I've got one big brownie point to Jim Miller. Do you guys don't know who Jim Miller is? Jim Miller is the author of Inner Excellence. That was the book that A.J. Brown of the Philadelphia Eagles was reading on the sideline during the game, the playoff game. They've got the camera during the game. He's not watching the football game, the playoff game. He's got the book, Inner Excellence, and he's reading quotes out of it. On Monday, Inner Excellence by Jim Miller went to number 1 on Amazon as the number 1 book bestseller because of what A.J. Brown was doing on silence. And then it got me thinking, is there any way, Shogger, you can get Connor and Leon to be talking about our podcast, getting a mic somewhere on the bench, and if they're talking about it, just think, we will skyrocket. All of a sudden, hey, Leon, did you watch GYB last night? I did. I thought they were fantastic. Struds looked really good. He was sharp last night, and Brownie's toque was awesome. Imagine the number of people we would get following us because of that.
Well, I'm sure they're both listening right now, so now they know to ask. I'm sure that's what they do. They head straight home and flip on the show. Brownie points brought to you by Hamel's Premium Jerky. Zuby, there's a lot of commentary on Brownie in the stream tonight, buddy. Like, there's a lot coming in here, just sort of a cross-section. We got Oliver Lawson Tossum. Love that handle. Beatnik Brownie. Brownie's microphone doesn't support wireless earbuds. You're getting chirped about the wired earbuds. Waleed
You
Jama
gave me this stuff.
Says, hey, Brown, nice chords. Wireless is the present. We got, what else we got? Brownie even puts his toque on backwards from Jeff McDonald. I like that one.
That's good.
What else we got here? Put Brownie shirtless riding a unicorn. Put that AI to work.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I like that one. Can you give me muscles too? I haven't had those before.
Yeah,
I can do almost anything. Well, maybe that's too far, but I'm sure we could come up with something.
What else? Ro Nelson, Brownie, you look hotter, as is where I don't need AI. Okay, Ro, a little chirp there at Brownie. I think I read that properly.
You
Anyways,
did, but Ro's a lady, I believe, so that's why she's giving him props. She's saying he doesn't need the AI. He's handsome enough on his own.
That's very sweet of her. Thank you very much.
There you go. All right, good stuff. All right, roll the intro. Time for Struddy's World.
When you make a mistake, heads should roll. It's not right. And I'm here. Someone has to put their foot down. Now that I say it out loud, it does sound a little crazy.
Gotta look good.
Yes. Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. They got locations in Calgary and Edmonton. If you're a contracting business or a contractor, let DLR help you add vinyl fence to your product line. Reliable, unmatched service with high-quality North American-made products. Visit DLRvinylproducts.ca. I cannot wait to find out what is on the big guy's mind tonight.
Well, I'm setting on a public service announcement, right? There's danger out there, and it can be a scary, scary, lonely place. I met with a friend today, and he started sharing the story with me about how he'd run into a situation where he was scammed. It was scary. He took me through. Brownie, please don't interrupt. He was taking me through the various stages when he realized he was being scammed, how he went through it, and on and on. It was about 10, 15 minutes until he actually got to the total number that this massive scamming outfit took off of him. It was $161. $161 he was scammed out. Don't worry about people that get scammed out. Tens of thousands. We're worried about this one friend of mine. So I may start a GoFundMe so we can all get this money back into this guy's pocket for $161. So again, no one in particular, no one you know, but just be aware that there are people being scammed to the tune of 161 clams out there, Brownie and Shogger.
You know, you can't even share things with your friends anymore unless they make it public. I'm sitting on my couch, Shogger, I'm sitting on my couch last night, and I get a text saying your Uber is on its way. I didn't get an Uber, so I look, it's in Toronto. I cancel it, and it does it again. It kept doing that, and it was a race. It was like whack-a-mole. Every time I canceled an Uber, it'd do another one. Someone hacked my Uber account, and they were charging. It was $161 ride that went 3 meters. I got the receipt today asking if I would give a tip. So I had to go through Uber and Visa and everything. I felt violated, Shogger. Somebody they hacked me. And I'm trying to share it in the dressing room today. The other guys were very comforting. Jason, on the other hand, wasn't. He wasn't comforting at all.
He finds the chirp. He always finds the chirp. I didn't even realize it was you until you started talking, Brownie.
I did as soon as he said.
I wondered why you were laughing so hard. I'm like, what's so funny about this? What's going on here?
Brownie was sharing the story like he was part of the Bernie Madoff Ponzi scam. Like he was like, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, where's this going? 161. He must be a lot more than that. $161. I'm like, just call me tonight and tell me the story again so I can go to sleep. Put me to sleep to this story.
Yeah. So I will admit I can be had. It doesn't take a lot of effort. I don't catch on to things the quickest. You guys might not know this about me. So I would have been maybe 26 years old, Struds.
Yes.
I'm in the parking lot at a gas station. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, "Hey man," he's like, you need a projector and a big screen?" And I was like, "What?" And I had been kind of thinking, I'd love to put a projector in the basement. It was perfect timing. And he's like, "Yeah, you need a projector and a big screen." And I was like, "Well, I don't know. What do you got?" He's like, "Well, yeah. So I run a company. We just got a big shipment of all of these. But they sent us too many and we're just getting rid of a bunch. So I don't know. I'm just asking people in the neighborhood. He said he lived in the neighborhood. He was just asking people in the neighborhood. He's like, "Yeah, like if you want one of these, we don't have room for them in the store." Like he was just absolutely, I don't know if that's being catfished or not, but I got something. And so I thought that for $350, I was getting a projector and a screen, and it was going to be like the best quality, and I was so excited about it. And I get in the car, and I call my buddy, and we're chatting, and I let him know what just happened, and he's like, dude, like, pull over and call the police. Like, you absolutely just completely got scammed. I didn't even know. I was driving, all proud of myself, so proud of myself, I told my buddy the story.
You know what?
So what
Jason's going to make fun of you now. Watch this. He's going to make fun of you.
No, guys, I'm not going to say, because you know what? That's the second time I know you've been scammed. The first time I knew it is when the guy who sold you elliptical told you get in shape when you bought it. So that's
Aaron, no, who says this? Chief Andy says, and this is how Schauger bought his $1,000 backpack. Yes, I can be had. I definitely can be had. I just wanted to let you know, Brownie, you're not alone, bud. You're not alone.
Thank you. I didn't even get
to the smartest.
Someone hacked me. I got hacked. It wasn't a scam, and I felt violated, and my friend Jason just stomped all over my heart.
Yeah. The projector worked, by the way. It worked, but it was like nothing would be in focus. Everything was completely out of focus. And no matter how hard I tried, I couldn't get anything in focus. So it literally went in the trash.
Okay, Schauger, you two guys, if you guys get an email saying that Liam Nielsen is stuck in the Congo and he needs $1 million to get out to pay for the fuel of his helicopter, that's a scam as well, guys. Just write that one down. That's a popular one.
Okay, first of all, if Liam needs to get out, we will get him out. He is one of my favorite actors. And second of all, I didn't get scammed. Somebody stole my identity.
$161.
Oh. 161.27 to 27 cents as well.
All right, Struddy's World, brought to you by DLR Vinyl Products. We're having some fun tonight, Brownie. You want to hang in for Ask Us Anything? You got a few more minutes? How's your night?
Sure, let's do it.
Let's do it. Love it when Brownie hangs in for Ask Us Anything. That's brought to you by BJ Electric. Let's get to it. BJ Electric Supplies, founded in 1976. They supply a full-line distributor providing quality wholesale electrical products for use in industrial, commercial, and residential settings. Proudly owned and operated in Edmonton. Visit bjelectric.ca. Zuby, hop on in here, my man. You ever been on any scams, Zuby? You ever been catfished or ripped off or anything like that?
You know what? I've been very close. I've been at that like online about to hit submit and then be like, wait a second. You know what it was? I bought an arcade machine down here, and there's a company called Arcade 1-Up, and an ad came up on Facebook that was so authentic right down to the URL, and they were selling them for like, on sale. They were like half price. I had it in my cart. I was right there. I go, something about this doesn't seem right, and I went and did a little searching, and I found out that was like a shadow website that had been set up and was getting a lot of people. So it was very, very close. I also think on Struddy's thing, if the email says Liam Nielsen, then that should be the first tip. If the name of the celebrity is wrong, then you're going to know there that it's probably
we got to keep a running list of all of these debauchery of the English language and people's names, and Liam Nielsen eating a charcuterie board one day. Charcuterie.
Quickly on the birthday thing. Well, Brownie wasn't here for all of this, but we mentioned, of course, Brownie, that we just discovered you and just Steve have the same birthday. And we were talking about what are the odds of that. And I believe it is, and Steve said, put it into ChatGPT. He says 0.27% chance according to ChatGPT, which I believe is basically 1 divided by 365. But that's just of any two people. Aleem Sarangi jumps in here, and he said the odds of 2 out of 5 people having the same birthday is 0.0003%. So,
okay, those of us on the show, there you go.
Very rare,
Nice.
very rare.
Crazy.
Okay, let's get to some hockey talk. We talked a little bit about Josh Brown. Neil Garrity says, I honestly don't understand why people hate Josh Brown. Did he make a mistake tonight? Limited ice time. What did you guys think of his game? I don't know if anyone's mind was changed on Josh Brown tonight, but what did you see from him tonight, Struddy?
Well, there was a guy that used to chime in on this saying that Josh Brown was the guy the Oilers needed. And I remember they wanted to trade for him from Arizona. And Josh Brown's a 7th or 8th defenseman. That's just what he is. And I know it because at one point in my career, I was the same thing. So he played 5 minutes tonight. you shouldn't be noticeable in 5 minutes, right? That's just the way it is. You shouldn't. Nothing good can really happen, and nothing bad definitely you want to happen. So I think that they brought him in to be a little bit more muscle, and that was a close game, so he didn't get to play a lot. And having the 7D is absolutely brutal when you're the 6th and 7th guy. But he's an 8th. When the playoffs start, if everyone's healthy and they trade for a D-man, he'll be the 8th guy, and that's fine.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I agree with what you said earlier, Struds, when you said the Oilers showed what they got. They got 5 defensemen. The coaches, that's what the coaches played tonight when the game was important. So I agree. Josh Brown is your 8th defenseman. If he is, then you're pretty good.
Mellotron says, I think the team's focus really needs to be to catch Vegas for the division title and get to play Calgary or Vancouver in the first round, make Vegas and LA beat each other up in round 1. We talked about, because it's in the poll, whether we'd like to see this matchup or not, but do you think strategically it would, how big of an advantage would it be for the Oilers to land that number 1 seed, Brownie?
I think there's 7 really good teams in the Western Conference. Really good teams. I think there's 4 teams in the Central, and now it all depends. If the Oilers get first in the division, are they first in the conference? Because if they're second in the conference, then whoever they play in the first round is going to be good. Could be Minnesota, could be Colorado, could be Dallas. One of those teams could fall into that first wild card spot, and I don't know if that would be easier than LA. So in all honesty, I don't care where the Oilers, you make the top 8. Just make the top 8. It doesn't really matter to me if they're first or 8th. The Oilers are good enough to win a Stanley Cup wherever they start on the road, wherever they start in the playoffs.
Yeah, if you want to be a Stanley Cup winner, you should just not care who you're playing. We're going to beat everybody. Or anybody. Not everybody, but everybody.
Okay, Mike Tyson, not surprisingly, he would have an opinion on this. He said if they talked about Kapanen jumping in for McDavid, isn't this what we wanted? Standing up for our guys. What did you think of Kapanen helping out there, Struds?
Yeah, I mean, I liked it. It was very quick. He got right in there and did it. I didn't think that the interaction between Lafreniere and McDavid was crazy. I would have been more mad about what McDavid did to Lafreniere than what he did in turn. Like, he just kind of lifted him by one leg and dropped him lightly on the ground. Like, that's not a big deal. But Kapanen got in there right away. But it wasn't needed. Like, I appreciated it, but it wasn't required because I didn't think it warranted that type of response.
And if this was later in the game, I wouldn't have wanted it. You lost the power play because of it. Now, I know they scored 4-on-4, but I mean, to go in and just grab a guy and all of a sudden you take away a power play, yeah, to me, it wasn't worth it. Connor McDavid was not manhandled there. Yeah, I agree. Connor McDavid gave more than he got in that one.
I like the hits McDavid threw tonight, by the way. He had 2 and he made them both count. I like that from him tonight because he hasn't been hitting a ton lately.
And some people wondering too, Schauger, if you wanted to jump in on 15-9, not a huge hit total, but the Oilers won the hit, or was that maybe through the first 2 periods?
No, I think that was the final. I think it was 15-8 in favor of the Oilers.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, good on them. That's an average number of hits for a game, and but again, I like the fact that McDavid was leading the way. He threw one early in the game against a villain in Anderson, who that team doesn't love. And then he threw another one later in the game that got some attention. And yeah, I like that from them. So yeah, they ratcheted up a little bit here.
Okay. Noel Rinsky, among others, pointing out that Ty Emberson was on the ice for the last 51 seconds of the game. Noel says, what a trade that was. But what did you guys think of the coach showing that confidence in Ty Emberson tonight, Brownie?
Well, I think when you watch how Knoblauch coaches, you start to see what he thinks of players. He has trust in Emberson to get it done. It was a 1-0 game in a huge division battle. And at the most important part of the game, he has Ty Emberson out there. It shows he's got full trust in him in Struds. And I think going forward, that is a confidence booster for a young defenseman as well.
Huge. And I thought Emerson had a really nice game tonight. Couple big hits, one on 10, as you know. And like I always felt that you wanted to go after the head of the snake. Like, he's kind of the heavy player, and you want to go after and just rock him, just so he knows that, like, if there's a problem, you're there tonight, right? To be physical on, not fight him, but be physical. Yeah, and that's a huge moment for. I couldn't believe I double took when I saw Emerson out there, but they're grooming him. They're grooming him to be that guy. And beside Ekholm,
And
he has developed into that.
I really think a lot of the confidence that Emerson has found was rooted in him being given the penalty killing responsibility he was given. More minutes put next to Ekholm. They basically said, we believe you can do this. And whether that's Stuart and Coffey, and his game it's really blossomed. And it felt like that was a toehold that he needed to have some good stuff happen. Zuby, let's do 2 more, buddy.
Oh, okay. That's tricky. Then I got a couple. I got 3 good ones. Can we do 3? We'll try to be quick.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah. Of course, buddy. Of course.
Okay. ADN said Bush has been somewhat quiet offensively recently, but has he also been quiet defensively in a good way? He asked in another message, is there a connection between that, or is it just coincidental? Is it kind of like when we talk about Darnell Nurse being at his best when he simplifies his game? Is Bouchard simplifying his game and seeing defensive improvement at the losing offense in the same equation, Struds? Is there something to that?
Yeah, you got to be careful with that, because I don't really want him to lose his offense, because if he loses his offense, he's not what he is. That's his superpower. So, I wouldn't. I would actually disagree. I don't think that. I think his defense has been, it hasn't been the floor that we've seen at some nights, but it hasn't been that long. But I still want to see that offense. Like I'm not telling him not to be offensive so he can be better defensively, because then why bother? That's what he's best at.
If you take away his offense, then you're taking away what he's good at. I mean, that's why he's here, his offense. And his offense, I mean, the puck hasn't gone in. He was in the Chicago and the Pittsburgh game. Like, he was creating. He had a number of shots. Tonight was just a quiet game. They just did not give anything up to him. And that's a credit more to LA than it was to a lack of ability by Bouchard tonight.
I'll chime in real quick on that one. Evan Bouchard showed everybody in the playoffs that he knows how to play high-quality defense. He showed in the playoffs that he knows how to do that, and I think he's taken a pretty significant step back on that front so far this season. And the offense isn't where it was before, but I'm not worried about that part in his game. But I thought maybe he would have carried through that defensive performance from the playoffs a little bit more into the regular season than we've seen.
Okay, before we get to the last one, Chief Andy's hot take coming up here. Shogger, a couple of people have asked what happened. They didn't pick up what happened in the scrum with Leon, something with him referring to if something was on purpose or not.
Yeah, so it was a camera guy there, a veteran cameraman who's been around a long time. He was holding the camera and holding his microphone at the same time. And so it's really hard to do that with depth perception. I have so much respect for these camera guys. And he had a long, like a boom pole. And the end of it, I think he sort of lost track of where it was. And it got Draisaitl kind of in the nook of his arm and his elbow while he was answering. And he just looked down and he was like, "Are you doing that on purpose?" And then we all sort of laughed. And then he sort of laughed it off too. And then the camera guy, he was like, "Yeah, I was just seeing if I could piss you off." And then everyone sort of had a laugh. So it was Draisaitl looked serious at the beginning, but it was all just a ha-ha after that. So yes, that was funny.
Okay, last one tonight. This hot take came in from Chief Andy that got a lot of people roaring back at him on the stream. He said, if the boys play solid till the end of the regular season, maybe take first, I don't want to see Kane come back for the postseason. Now, that might be a little bit out there, but maybe we could adjust it in these terms. Do you if he's ready to go, does he automatically slot in for game 1 of the playoffs, or do you roll with the team playing well and find the time that you need to inject that element, Struddy?
I think you got to put him in right away, because he might not be his best game 1, but if you make it to the 4th round, he can be the Kane you need him to be. So you got to get him playing games if he doesn't play before game 83.
I think you have to put him in early just to see what you got. I mean, it's going to be a full year. If game 83 is his first game, it's a full year. So you got to see what you got. I don't think it is an automatic that he gets to play every game. I think it'll be based on how well he plays. I don't know. I guess it all depends who the Oilers pick up at the trade deadline, how they're playing when the season ends, and what he shows in practice leading up to game 83. Yeah,
it's definitely not going to be an automatic. I don't think with this coach. I wonder too, I don't know exactly what the rules are, but I wonder, what does it look like to have a player do a conditioning stint while he's getting ready and not being on your roster? So like towards the tail end of the regular season, although is the AHL in playoffs by then, or what does that look like? What can you do?
They would probably be in the playoffs, but I can't see the NHL allowing that.
No.
If you're good enough to play in the AHL, then you're good enough to play. So I can't see that being allowed.
Well, they do conditioning stints for players all the time. Like Phil Herron just did one.
But
would that not be counted against the camp? Like, this is a guy that's on long
stay on the roster,
I'm sure they stay on the cap. There's for sure. Otherwise, you can't get around that.
But even coming off a long-term injury, coming off LTIR, do you have to activate the player onto your active roster before you can send him on a conditioning stint? Should probably know that. But
I'm sure
I'll text Hart. We'll see if Hart Levine's still awake. Anyways, that was Ask Us Anything, brought to you by BJ Electric Supplies. Brownie, thanks for taking the extra long shift tonight, buddy. Appreciate it.
Oh, thanks. I'm going to just call my Uber right now and see if I can get an Uber.
Well, why don't I do this? Since you put in extra time, why don't I bonus you $167.75 tonight on your show fee?
That's very nice of you. I'm glad that one of my friends on this show actually really felt for me when I went through this traumatic experience. So thank you, Shogger.
Shogger, you're gonna triple his regular fee just because of that? Holy cow.
I know.
That's crazy.
Brownie, I'll call you later tonight to put me to sleep with that story. Keep your phone on.
I can't hear you.
Talk to you soon, Brownie.
Not listening. Bye-bye.
See you, buddy. Go buy some wireless earbuds. Goodness sakes. Rob Brown. All right, still lots of show ahead. Actually, do we want to do a scoreboard now, Struds? Or everything's completed, right? Let's rock and roll with the scoreboard. No, not a ton of action tonight. No. Let's get to our scoreboard real quick. Brought to you by Canadian Club. The all-new Canadian Club Classic 18-year-old high proof comes in at an incredible 58%. It's their highest proof Canadian Club Classic to date. Full-bodied whiskey, aromas of caramel, toffee, spicy vanilla, and a rich oak with a butterscotch finish. Light night in the National League tonight, my friend.
Just three games, and nothing that really impacts the Oilers. The Flyers beat the Panthers 4-3. Noah Cates, and Sam Reiner both had 2 goals in that one for each team, so they get it done 4-3. And then the Flames 5-2 over the Hawks. Jacob Pelche, 2 goals. Had 1 goal before, now he has 3. So the Flames keep hanging around. Buddy Ryan Huska's got that group believing, hanging around in that group.
They are just hanging around. This Rasmus Anderson trade to Edmonton that you're salivating over might not be able to happen, buddy.
No, I'd have a hard time seeing them trading him with this situation going on.
Yeah, for sure. All right, that was our scoreboard brought to you by Canadian Club. Lots still ahead. Stay with us here on Got Your Back, presented by Play Alberta.
Thinking of that dream vacation? A quick winter escape? Well, flight delays are dreadful. Hospital visits, not fun. Alberta Blue Cross gives you coverage for emergency medical care, cancellations, and lost baggage. Flexibility, reliability, even lounge access or a hotel if the delay is too much. Plus 24/7 travel support ensures you're never left out in the cold. Visit ab.bluecross.ca/travel to learn more.
With over 18 years in the industry, Kelly Zaretsky and her team at Blue Summit Accounting deliver client-focused solutions and financial guidance for success in a simple and comfortable way. Whether it's for corporate or personal needs, Blue Summit Accounting can help with taxes, estate planning, financial services, bookkeeping, and more. Get in touch today. Email bluesummitacct@gmail.com or call 780-416-9662.
All right, let's get to our core blue liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. If you're a small to medium-sized business, HSE Core has your back when it comes to health and safety compliance, from creating and managing a tailored health and safety program that meets all legislation and core requirements. HSE Core supports clients' operations every step of the way. Check them out online, www.hsecor.com. Okay, Struds, for our deep dive tonight, we're going to look at a beloved defenseman in Oiler land, one of their favorites.
Yeah. Don't hate me, but I do love this play, Mikey Anderson, LA Kings defenseman. Thinking back to a couple of years ago when he injured Leon in the playoff series, and who knows, maybe that cost the Oilers, going past the Avs in that series. But Mikey Anderson is the guy you want on your team. You don't want to play against him, but you want him on your team. Pretty good mobility, good passer, good gap control, which I don't think I've talked about one guy about it. Most of them do, but he's got a good gap control, and he looks for hits, right? He likes being physical. He's a strong guy, especially in the corners in front of the nets. He likes to be physical in those areas, but he can still make a play. When I watch him, and I remember the very first time I watched him, I could not stop thinking that he's a left-handed Brooks Orpik. If you're not familiar with Brooks, what is Brooks lefty? Maybe Brooks was a lefty, actually. Either way, I thought he was like Brooks Orpik. And Brooks was really good defenseman for a long time for Washington and then Pittsburgh. And yeah, that's a guy. He doesn't do much on the power play. He is he's a penalty killer, and played a ton of minutes tonight. He led all players that's on his team with 26 minutes of ice time. And Connor doesn't forget. Connor, people think he's a nice guy, but he had a hard hit on Mikey Anderson early, and he's a target that they all look for. But he's an important part of that back end for the Kings, and I'm a huge fan of his. Huge fan.
Did McDavid not injure Anderson? Wasn't it early the next season or something? Or they got him back. Like I seem to recall somebody running him on the end boards and hurting Anderson. I don't know why I thought that was Connor McDavid. Maybe someone on the stream will. Is that ringing a bell?
It's I don't remember the exact cert, but there was something, and it might have been him. And the best thing about Anderson is he's young. He's only 25, and he's signed for the next 3 years at $4 million. Like, that's a good deal, man. Like, that's a good deal. Good player.
He's a gamer. Like he's a gamer. When the temperature ratchets up, he hangs in there. He's got that. I feel like he's one of those guys that would just want to win at everything, single thing he tries. Like he's just got that scrappy nature to him. He's a gamer. I definitely like his game a lot. Brooks Orpik, by the way, does shoot left, so he is a left-handed Brooks Orpik. Orpik was a little bigger, wasn't he? Anderson's only 6 feet tall. Like he plays bigger than he is.
Yeah, he looks bigger than that, and I think he's pretty heavy. Like I'm telling you, he's solid D man, especially at that $4 million mark. Like, I like that number. Really like that number for him.
Starting over at 61, the Sage fan says 25 years old and still wants to be called Mikey. Good point there. But, although he's listed as Michael Anderson on all of the pages, but we know him as Mikey Anderson. So. All right. Yeah, he's one to keep an eye on. He is a gamer, and he played tonight head-to-head against Connor McDavid. So of all the players at even strength, he played 13 minutes and 33 seconds tonight, the most against Connor McDavid, and was at 57% of the shot share while they were out there. Both 7 shots for, 7 shots against. Like that's a pretty good night. And the Kings are definitely a good shot suppression team. They don't give up a lot against. And the Oilers are a team that gets tons of shots. So that's a good night's work, even though McDavid did end up getting the goal. But he's a guy you can trust out there against some of the bigger names like that. That was our Core Blue Liners, brought to you by HSE Core Services. Okay, Struds, let's take a look at some other stories that are going on in and around the hockey world. That'll be courtesy Acon as we take a couple of laps. 150 years they've been in their business, and they're proudly operating here in the city of Edmonton as well. They're always looking for great workers. So if you need a job, or if someone you know is looking for work, check out their website, acon.com, and you can click Join Our Team, and they'll give you a nice list of all the openings that they have in the area and across the province, all the way across the country. So if you're looking for work, or someone you know is, acon.com is the place to go. Okay, Struds, where are we going to go tonight?
Oh, stay close to home with Zach Hyman. His family bought the OHL's Bulldogs, Brantford Bulldogs. So pretty exciting for him. He's going to have a press conference on Wednesday, but in a statement he said, "Hockey's more than just a game for my family. It teaches our youth about the importance of teamwork, and it brings together communities." I humbly and greatly appreciate the faith the former owner has in me to continue his incredible legacy with such a great franchise. So never played in the league, and tonight he was joking. He's never drafted by the league, but now he owns a team in the league. So Zach Hyman and his family, sounds like his brother's going to be running it the day-to-day.
Yeah, it was kind of cool. Like we were grilling him a little bit, and he didn't want to say too much because he's, they got a press conference and he wanted to save some of it. But we hit him with a few questions, and it's interesting. Like Zach Hyman, Struds, every once in a while, you cover these teams and you get to know these players, and you probably as teammates, you had a sense for guys. You were like, I could see that guy being in management someday, right? You just have a sense of guys. Maybe they're a little bit older, get a little bit of feel for their personality and such. Would you have thought that about Zach Hyman? Now, I know it's a family thing, and he's not going to be right in the middle of it, but, I mean, he's an owner. Would you have thought this about Zach Hyman?
Yeah, from a distance, from what I know of him, I think that makes sense. He's smart. I think the biggest thing is he's very level-headed, and I think that's important for management. Not getting too emotional when things go well or go badly or negotiations or whatever, right? And I think that the guys that can weather those things and think through it, I think, I played with guys that wanted to be it, but A, I don't think they wanted to work that, or B, they just were so emotional all the time. Like, how can you be a manager or emotional, coach when you're so emotional? So yeah, I think it's good to have former players involved in those levels of sport. I really think they understand what it looks like, what it feels like to become a pro.
Yeah, sounds like his dad and his brother are going to dig in on the day-to-day. I was joking with Zach tonight. I said, you're going to be a real hands-on owner, in the coach's office, really grinding on the day-to-day decisions, and he sort of had a laugh. But, he's in it now. He knows he's in it, and his interview tonight about that was interesting. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes for Zach Hyman in the years to come. Where else, buddy?
Just a quick one out of the Calgary and Blackhawks game. Martin Papazol, I like him as a player, but he plays on the edge. And tonight he had a very dirty hit against Taylor Hall. Started out as a 2-minute, then he was given a 5-minute major. I think it was ultimately for hitting from behind.
I didn't see it.
And
okay.
It was a bad one. It was a bad one. He plowed him from. It was bad. Looks like Taylor Hall is going to be okay. But Papazol, I don't think he'll get suspended. I might be wrong on this one. But it was a pretty dirty hit and left the game. But this is a player I've heard conversations, come out of the Calgary Flames locker room where they're like, he's just got to learn how to stay in the gray area. And I think to compare him to a guy we know, Zach Kassian, at times had to kind of figure that out as well. You want him in the gray area, but you can't have him going over, too frequently.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I like the way that he plays, though, man. He's always right in the middle of it. He's not afraid to be right in the middle of it.
No.
He gets his nose dirty. You'd rather have to pull a guy back a little bit, than trying to, push guys into the fight. So they'll rein him in, and he's figuring it out. That was Taking a Lap, brought to you by our good friends over at Acon. All right, Zuby, we got everything in, right? Time for our play of the day. Is that where we're at?
We got to wrap up the poll.
Oh, yes. Okay, buddy, of course. Always keeping us honest on the DeBoer's poll. Where did it land?
I would never let it slip away. It's been a while since we went without a poll. Update. Okay, so here's where we landed. Do you want to see Oilers Kings in round 1 this year? No. Tired of seeing these guys. 50%. That was the number one choice. Yes, it's a great rivalry. 21%. No, I'm worried about the outcome. 15%, yes, because the matchup favors the Oilers. Only 13%. So overall, no. If you add up, we got 65% also said no for their various reasons, whether they're tired of seeing them or worried that maybe the Kings are able to finally beat the Oilers in a best of 7. But as someone said that, there are some people on the stream talking about the do factor, and I just pointed out it's hockey. Hockey's a best of 7. The do factor, I feel, it's not as prevalent. In football, that happens. It's hard to beat the same team twice, 3 times in the same year. But in hockey, the do factor might account for 1 win, maybe 2, but the best team usually prevails.
Yeah. Who we never talked about at all tonight was Warren Foegele, Struds. What do you think of Foegele?
Yeah, not as noticeable as the other night. His line wasn't quite as effective. Handling just holding and hemming the Oilers in. But I give the Oilers credit for that. But he he is around the net, man. He's always driving the net, poking at pucks. Like you got to love the way he plays.
Yeah, I had a chat with a reporter out of LA today, and we were talking about him, and he's been so consistent and so good for them. But I described a reality where the guy could barely stay in the lineup in the playoffs and was stuck on the fourth line for weeks and weeks on end. And she was just blown away. She was like, yeah, that is not the player that they have signed and gotten. Like, they really have gotten the best of Warren Foegele so far this year. It's worked out good for him, good for them. Yeah, that'll be interesting if it ends up being a playoff series, because when he elevates, his game can be kind of tailor-made for the playoffs. Fast, he tends to get more physical. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see him in a series against his old team. All right, let's wrap the show with our play of the day, brought to you by Gallery Dental, offering a full range of services designed to keep your smile healthy. Their experienced team provides personalized care with the latest technology, making sure you get the best treatment possible, which we all want. Anytime we go to the dentist, you want people who are going to take care of you, and that's what they will do down at Gallery Dental. Gallery Dental, YEG.com. What do we got tonight, Struds?
Everybody loves an underdog, and you love when you see a 6th-rounder for the Calgary Flames come in today, and his name is Rory Cairns. And in the first shift, 12 seconds into the game, he gets an assist. And then he gets a second assist in the same period. So in 15 minutes of ice time, 2 assists for the young rookie who's been put up really good numbers with the Calgary Wranglers, the AHL team. But a 6th-round draft pick, man. I love it. Gives everyone a hope in make it when you're drafted.
100%. Anything really good happened for you in your first game? Like, did you come away from that game saying, I can circle this as my moment?
No, I felt like I could play for sure in the league, but I fought twice, and I was like, oh, man.
Oh.
I got a lot of fights ahead of me if I'm going to do this.
So who'd you fight in your first game? Who'd you
Kelly Chase. I fought him twice.
Oh,
yeah,
gosh.
Yeah.
How did I not know this about you? You fought him twice in your first game.
Well, we fought, and it was only 2 minutes the first time. And I'm like, I thought it was 5. And then he's like, let's fight again. So we fought again as soon as I got out of the box. So, yeah. Tough guy to start with, but yeah, you had to do something.
So your takeaway from your first game was ice in your knuckles.
Yeah, better than my face.
Was it early? Did the first one happen early in the game, or did you wait for it?
I think it was pretty early. Yeah, but I was so nervous. I had to do something, right? I'm like, I just gotta get. But then I've settled in and played. And I was like, I can actually play with these guys, right? Because you don't realize how it's so much more organized. If you do your job, everyone else is doing their job. And that's quite a nice feeling, actually.
Right on. And Chaser, man, he was a tough guy on the ice. And we're sending our thoughts to him because he's been in a battle here the last little bit, and tough off the ice as well, but one of the classic tough guys. All right, Struds, good job tonight, buddy.
Likewise.
I guess we'll chat a couple of days here. We're going to go hard. Like, the Oilers are going hard. We're going to go back-to-backs. We'll go Wednesday and Thursday with them. We'll have a pod after the Vancouver game, so we got lots of action coming up here, pal. Stay sharp.
Can't wait, boys. Talk to you then.
All right, Zuby, good job tonight, pal. Thanks.
Thanks, fellas, and thanks for everyone joining us on the stream. Really busy stream, and lots of positivity and fun. Good, and some good debates, too.
We love it. Absolutely love it, and really strong numbers tonight. So thank you. Tell a friend. Invite them to come join us on the live stream next time around. We like saying hello to new people that we see hopping in. Much appreciate all your downloads, your subscriptions, and do subscribe across all of our platforms. We'll chat in a couple of days. See ya.